Hello, everyone, and welcome to VoiceMeeter. For those of you who don't know what VoiceMeeter is basically a virtual audio device mixing application developed by VB Audio Software. It allows the user to mix and alter their audio sources coming from different audio devices and audio applications in real time. So basically, what this means is VoiceMeeter will take any sound that's inputted and output it differently. So, say you're recording your own voice, the when VoiceMeeter picks up your voice, it'll edit and alter it differently. So you don't have to go into Audacity or Audition or any other sound editing software to edit your voice afterwards. VoiceMeeter will do all the editing for you in real time as you're recording. So that's an incredibly convenient thing to have. And as you can see on their website, VoiceMeeter is entirely free. You don't need to pay for anything. You don't need to have any monthly subscription, nothing. Everything is entirely free. The only thing they do ask, and this is entirely optional, is for you to make a donation, which, in my opinion, is always good to do to support the developers, but it's up to you. The application itself is entirely free. You can download it with no repercussions, nothing. And the installation process is really, really fast. The only issue here is that you might have to restart your computer to make sure VoiceMeeter is working properly, but that's different for each person, I guess. All right, let's see. When you first open VoiceMeeter, this is how it will look. This is how it basically looks. All these things will be set to 0, and the hardware input and the hardware output will be set to will basically be blank. So what you need to do if you're a first time user is set your hardware input to whatever speakers or whatever microphone you're currently using, which in my case I'm using the Turtle Beach PX11 microphone chat. And you want to do the same thing for your hardware output, which in my case as well is the Turtle Beach PX11 speakers. And now once you have all that set up, you're ready to use VoiceMeeter. Oh, but before you do all this, you might have to go into your sound settings and you have to set VoiceMeeter to your default playback device. And you have to set it to your default recording device, or else it won't work. This is a bit intrusive, and if you're not used to using these settings, you might find this a bit complicated, but once you get all this down, it gets incredibly easy to use. So, right here is basically where you control what your microphone does. So, for example, you won't be able to hear this, but A and B basically mean two things. A transmits sounds to your own speakers from your headphones or your desktop. B transmits sounds to the virtual audio device, which is VoiceMeeter. So, for example, if I were to turn on A, I can hear my own voice now. I'm not sure if this is coming out through the video or not, but you can hear your own voice now, and it's sort of like an echo effect. And if I turn off B, you can no longer hear me. So it basically mutes. It basically prevents you from hearing yourself. So, and right here is where you control your voice settings. I have mine set to right here, which is where my voice tends to sound the best, I guess. But if you double click, you can reset this. And if you move this over here, your voice gets really, really low with a lot of bass. So this sounds pretty cool, I guess. If you move it up here, your voice gets a sort of echo effect to it. If you move it over here, your voice gets really high. And if you move it down here, your voice gets really low and VoiceMeeter gives it sort of like a radio or stereo effect to it. But if you want to reset it, just double click and it resets to the default position. But in my case, I set it right there. And that's basically what this does. This is probably the my favorite feature of this VoiceMeeter, and one that many users will use right off the bat. And what you can also do is set your voice to mono. So if it's a stereo sound, you can set it to mono, and you can set it back too. You can also mute yourself. And S, I'm not sure what that is, but I'm sure it does something else too. And fader gain is basically you can increase the volume of your own voice. So if I increase it up here, you can increase it really loud, but it tends to, as you can see in the bar, look how loud it is. But this creates a lot of static, so it's not really recommended. So I usually set it to 7.5, 7.4 around there. And yeah, that's basically it. And audibility basically acts as an like how much your microphone picks up in a way and how much you hear, but I won't mess with that right now. And hardware, well, let's go to hardware output. Hardware output is basically, say you're listening to music or a YouTube video. This is where you would control all the volume settings for it. So you can lower the volume of your video, you can increase it, you can set it back to normal, you can mute it, you can set it to mono. Basically anything you did over here, you can do over here. But the difference is this is for microphones and this is for whatever sound is being inputted from your computer. And yeah, that's basically what VoiceMeeter does. It alters and edits anything that you hear or you record in real time. So there's no need to go to Audacity or Audition or any of those editing softwares afterwards. This will do it right on the spot. So it's really, really convenient. And if you have a lot of experience using this sort of software, this VoiceMeeter is the application for you. And that's it.